Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a bill in limbo could see the end of the death penalty in the Commonwealth. And the lieutenant governor is opening up about her recent double mastectomy to encourage other women to prioritize their health.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We're coming up on 6:01 on Thursday, January 25th. Now let's send it over to meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your rainy forecast this morning.
Oh, it sure is, Olivia. Lots of clouds in the area, kind of foggy in spots, and definitely pretty wet. Here in Whitesburg, you can see all of that rain, the pavement wet, and we're at least not doing bad for the temperature, though. It's 57 degrees. And when you look at the rest of the area temperatures, we have lots of mid and upper 50s to begin the day. Only 140 on the map, and that's up here in Ashland, where we have a little fog. Visibility has been around a half mile. London at a half, and Somerset, your viz is a little lower as well at 3/4 of a mile. So some dense fog advisories to talk about from Moorhead back through Lexington, western areas of Kentucky and middle Tennessee dealing with the foggy spots. And the areas of rain, one shield of rain moving through, and you notice to our south there is plenty more of it. Here's some of the showers around the area now. Wow, it's just wet everywhere from Warfield through Williamson, Pikeville and Phelps, Weeksbury and Jenkins, back through Hazard and Jackson. You extend southward from there to about Manchester and almost London, and other showers down into, again, northern sections of Tennessee. So it will be a wet one for us today. As you head out the door, expect the rain to continue. We will have some breaks, but be prepared with the umbrella and the rain gear as high temperatures move up into the low 60s. More wet weather into the weekend as well. Olivia, I'll have more on that coming up.
Mace, thank you. And now we want to pass along a reminder for folks in Hazard and Perry County. A system-wide boil water advisory continues for much of Perry County that affects all City of Hazard water customers. It comes as thousands of customers have been dealing with outages, in some cases for several days. Officials say they are still filling tanks and monitoring tank levels. They say it is impossible to estimate when everyone will have water again. A bill in the General Assembly looks to get rid of the death penalty in Kentucky. Kelsey Soto talks with those on both sides of the issue about the legal limbo and the cost that come with it.
As Alabama prepares to execute an inmate, the future of Kentucky's death penalty remains undecided.
I think we are seeing a change in opinion as people are learning more about how the death sentences are being implemented, especially in other states, and how cruel the actual penalty is.
There are 26 Kentuckians on death row. The state hasn't executed anyone in more than a decade. In 1994, Ralph Bays was sentenced in the murder of Powell County Sheriff Stephen Bennett and Deputy Sheriff Arthur Briscoe. Our Garrett Weimer talked to friends and family last year about the delays.
This is not my opinion as the Powell County judge. This is my opinion as Eddie, is let's stop wasting the money and, we need to carry out the sentence.
Capital trials are costly because of the increased expense in prosecution, defense, investigations, and security.
The money would be more effectively used in other ways of decreasing violent crime and providing treatment services and increasing our education funding. There are all sorts of ways in which we could be better using our limited funds.
Data shows Kentucky inmates have spent an average of 26 years on death row, the longest of any state in the country. Kentucky's constitution gives only the governor authority to commute death sentences. Victims' families say there is no price for the emotional toll they've endured all of these years.
This didn't have to happen. It just didn't have to happen. I don't know why fate allowed that to happen. I don't know, but it did. I don't know. It's so hard. I'm so sorry.
In Lexington, Kelsey Soto, WKYT.
Kentucky is one of 27 states where the death penalty is still legal. House Bill 38 would abolish the death penalty and replace it with life in prison without parole. Remains in committee. For the first time since the procedure, Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman is opening up about the decision she made to undergo a double mastectomy. Last fall, Coleman had been campaigning with Governor Andy Beshear during their bid for re-election, which ended in a victory. In September, she went for her first mammogram. Coleman ended up having 4 biopsies. Doctors say during the last one of the lesions doctors found had the potential of becoming malignant.
So I was alone that day because you go to the doctor by yourself, right? And so that was hard, but I have to say that the nurses and the doctors who do this all day, every day, right? This could very well become like, you know, an assembly line for them. They were so compassionate and they were so empathetic.
Now back to work, Coleman has received countless cards and well wishes. She has also heard the stories of other women, which is one of the reasons why she chose to share her own journey. Yesterday, Kentucky's newly created anti-Semitism task force met for the first time in Frankfort. Governor Andy Beshear joined the group's 18 members. Data shows instances of anti-Semitism have risen significantly in Kentucky since the Hamas-led attack on Israel. The group is setting out to review those threats and address the issue at all levels of Kentucky's education system, particularly on college campuses. A man is accused of trying to steal copper wire. The Knox County Sheriff's Office says yesterday morning they received a call that someone was cutting copper wire out of phones and internet boxes on Kentucky 11. Once on scene, a detective found the damage. Deputies later arrested 44-year-old Tony Desern of Manchester. He's charged with theft by unlawful taking and criminal mischief. We are just 1 week away from our winter blood drive here at WYMT. The drive is from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. next Wednesday in front of the station on 199 Black Gold Boulevard in Hazard. All donors will receive a Kentucky Blood Center shirt while supplies last. Officials with KBC say their goal is to gather at least 16 units of blood. And the Kentucky Blood Center is calling on donors for the annual Big Blue Slam blood drive. After yesterday, Florida is now in the lead. This is the 16th year for the blood drive competition between the Cats and the Gators. Florida is leading by 7 donations. You can donate at any Kentucky Blood Center. The contest lasts through Friday. Officials with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet announced funding being awarded to one county. The Estill County Fiscal Court will receive nearly $54,000 in emergency road aid funds. The funding will be for repairing a draining structure on Driftwood Drive. Some Honda owners say their rear windows are shattering without a touch. There are more than 300 filed reports with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Joshua Patrick says this is the scary reality for some Honda HR-V owners here in Kentucky. Patrick is the owner of Central Kentucky Auto Glass. He says his shop has gone from seeing 1 or 2 Honda HR-Vs a month to at least 1 or 2 per week.
Some people think that their car's been broken into or their car's been vandalized or anything like that, and it's just a default in the glass that's causing them to pop like that.
Consumer Reports say Honda's blaming the problem on a manufacturing defect. They say the sealer used to secure the rear glass is coming in contact with the defroster's heating elements. Over time, this weakens the glass. Did you know the first WIC clinic in the country opened in Pineville 50 years ago in 1974? Tuesday, Governor Andy Beshear joined other leaders to celebrate the anniversary at the Bell Theater. WICs are clinics specifically catered to women, infants, and children 5 and under in need. The governor helped honor Dr. David Page and Betty Hopkins, who helped start the clinic.
Pineville not only is the first, but it is the most courageous.
Evidence shows that WIC participation is associated with fewer infant deaths, fewer premature births, and reduced infant mortality. And that's nothing short of incredible.
Now there's a WIC clinic in every state in the country. The All-A Classic basketball tournament is in Corbin this year. And WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us how the town is geared up to welcome visitors.
32 teams from across the state bringing hundreds of visitors into Corbin for the All-A Classic basketball tournament.
It's huge, not only economic impact, but it's also an opportunity for Corbin to show off.
Mulholland says officials prepared for the tournament with nearby businesses. They want to make visiting teams and fans feel welcome while they are in town.
We've been able to partner with some of our local businesses to offer a great hospitality room,
bringing the local flavor to a place in town they are proud of. With a large capacity, the Corbin Arena is able to host the tournament.
So obviously the arena is a world-class facility, and people, when they step inside, they're always just blown away.
The hard work by officials and staff has already made a good impression for visitors. Chairman Gary Muncy says they have done a great job hosting.
They've been very nice to us here. The city has been great, and the arena staff has been great, and it's worked out well for us.
The tournament runs through Sunday, when a girls and boys champion will be declared. During that time, Corbin will get the opportunity to show off for visitors. In Corbin, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Chairman Gary Muncy says he is unsure where next year's tournament will be. He said a return to Corbin could be on the table. One florist in Pike County is hoping to share a little love next month for Valentine's Day, working with the community to send Valentines to nursing homes. Reed Family Floral in Virgie is inviting folks to take part in the 3rd annual Adopt a Resident program, paying $16.99 to sponsor a rosebud vase for the senior Valentines. Owner and florist Evan Sykes has 300 available spots for people to sponsor residents, with plans to provide a gift for more than 450 people.
That's the best part, seeing all the different community organizations and school groups coming together to help us hand these out and get them ready. It really just brings the entire community together to help out with this project.
To find out how to sponsor a senior, visit our website. Organizers with the Bourbon and Beyond Festival in Louisville announced their long lineup of performers yesterday. Some of the headliners include Lawrence County native Tyler Childers, as well as the Dave Matthews Band, Matchbox 20, Zach Bryan, Beck, and Neil Young. Weekend and single day passes are now on sale. The festival runs from September 19th through the 22nd.
Clouds and showers over the area today. A wet beginning to the day here in Pikesville. You can see all the pavement wet in Pikeville. 58 degrees there at 119 and 23. Watch out for some of the travels this morning. It will be, of course, a little wet, to say the least. 50s for our temperatures just about everywhere. A little cooler there in Ashland at 48, where we have some fog to talk about. Half-mile visibility in Ashland, also in Harlan, and 3/4 there for London and Somerset. Some fog advisories out from Moorhead on back through western and central areas of Kentucky, and they have been expanded a little bit here across the majority now of Tennessee to include areas there towards the Tri-Cities. There's the rain rolling up from south to north. A wet beginning to the day. It will stay pretty wet all day for us, Olivia, with high temperatures in the 60s by later this afternoon. Talk about more wet weather for this weekend coming up.
Thank you, Mace, and thanks for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, the race for the GOP nomination gets heated going into South Carolina, with Nikki Haley refusing to back down.